So our next chapter, that is consumer equilibrium. So first, in this chapter we'll be talking about utility. Now what is utility? Utility, it's a satisfaction. Another name for utility, in simple terms we term utility as satisfaction. So it's a one satisfying power of a commodity. So it is done. This one you can just do it. And these all things like total utility, margin utility, these all are basic thing which you need to know. Now comes total utility. Total utility means sum total of satisfaction. Whatever you receive it is called total utility. And at this one, the formula which is given to you, total utility, that is something similar to M which you are seeing. That is called summation of marginal utility. So we will be coming to that formula later on. But first let's talk about total utility. It's a sum total of satisfaction received. Likewise, let's see marginal utility. Marginal utility, it's an extra utility derived from the consumption of when you're going on consuming a particular commodity. What happens? You get an additional utility. So that additional utility will just show it with the help of a simple schedule. The schedule is over here. You can see the units of of a commodity. Let's say 1, 2, 3 and 4 units of commodity which you are consuming. The total utility, I've just taken it as a rough way. The total utility, it goes on increasing: 10, 20, 30 and 40. And what happens to marginal utility? So what is marginal utility? It's a, what did I say? It's addition of total utility. So how much has it been added to become this 20? You can see this 10. So this 10 is your marginal utility. So to become 20 to 30, how much additional unit did you consume? This another 10. So this is marginal utility. Okay, now from marginal utility, how can you find total utility? What if I say you, what if you add these to 10? What will happen? 10 and 10 will give us this 20. 10, 10 and another 10 will give me this 30. So can I say addition of marginal utility? So if I tell you addition, which we did over here, addition of marginal utility, summation of marginal utility will give me total utility, which we just said. Over here you'll be seeing total utility divided by quantity. So if I divide this 10 divided by 1, how much will I get? 10. So this marginal utility over here I can get in that way. So 20 divided by 2, again I'll get 20. So this formula is applicable in that way. Now let's come to this relationship between total utility and marginal utility. Now over here you need to just symbolize this x-axis, y-axis, because everything has a mark. So over here it has half a mark. So price, quantity demanded, TU and MU, that is total utility and marginal utility, which is represented by the y-axis, and x-axis, quantity demanded, is represented. So now let's talk about the relationship. So you can see total utility, it first increases, becomes maximum over here, and falls. So over here the major point which you need to highlight is when total utility is maximum, what is happening to marginal utility? Look over here, marginal utility becomes 0, and when total utility is falling over here, marginal utility becomes negative. So these all things I have represented by first, second and third. These are the stages which I have just written over. You can just go through it. So now likewise let's come to types of utility. So there are two types of utility. one is cardinal and ordinal. So these are various approaches. So that in that way I've just divided the video in part 1 and part 2. So part 2 it will be coming on later on. So part 1, let's talk about the cardinal. So the differences I've just highlighted. So over here you need to know cardinal means in numbers you measure utility, like 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. And in ordinal you rank it, you give a preference, like first preference, my second preference, yeah, third preference. So these are the difference between over here. You just copy it down. So now let's come to cardinal utility approach. This is our first approach. So over here you need to know the law which is applicable over here, law of diminishing marginal utility. So the law states, as a consumer goes on consuming a particular product, this marginal utility goes on declining. So what happens? Let's say you are a consumer. As a consumer, if you are going on given a certain commodity, so what will happen to your satisfaction? It will slowly decrease. You don't want that product anymore. So in that way, this law of marginal utility is applicable. So just go to the law over here. You'll be understanding it in simple words. As the consumer takes more unit of goods, the satisfaction he derives from an extra unit of a good goes on falling, which you have just said. So for this, in order to apply this law, you have to follow certain assumption. So assumption can be the good must be homogeneous. Now what is homogeneous? It must be similar, means you can't shift your commodity. If you are having happy, let's say, you got to have that happy biscuits only. You just can't change your preference to another kind of biscuit, like let's say Good Day or any other kind of biscuit. You got to have only one type of commodity, that is homogeneous commodity. No change in taste and preferences. So the consumer should not change in taste and preference, similar to what I said earlier. His taste and preference should be similar. Consumer must be rational. Rational means the consumer must be knowledgeable. He must have good knowledge about the product, whatever he is consuming. And last one, this one is important. Last one states the marginal utility of money must remain constant. Means one utils, for different person utils can have this for different person. For me, one utils can be 10 rupees. For you, it can be 20 rupees. For someone, it can be 30 rupees. But in order to follow this law, I have assumed one utils is equals to 1 rupee. So we know that one utils, it's not a constant value, like what we know for 1 kg is 1000 grams or 1 kilometer is 1000 meter. So that constant nature is not there in case of utils. So utils is a way which we measure utility. So utility measure in terms of utils. So one utils we have assumed that to be 1 rupee. So for every 1 rupee you get 1 utils. So that's why marginal utility of M is equals to 1. You have taken over here. So you should not forget this thing, because this will be used in coming up things which we are doing. So now let's come to consumer equilibrium. This is a main thing which we'll be doing it. So consumer equilibrium in case of one commodity. So a consumer is having one commodity. So suppose a price of a commodity is rupees 5. I've just taken it as an example. The price of a commodity is rupees 5. Means a good is placed at rupees 5, and a satisfaction, whatever satisfaction, the utility we are receiving from that, it's 7 rupee. It was actually 7 utils, but as we know 1 utils is equals to 1 rupee, that's why I converted this 7 utils into rupee, and that became 7 rupee of satisfaction. So the price of that commodity is 5 and the satisfaction which you are receiving is 7. So as a consumer, what would you do? Would you consume that? Yes, of course you'll be consuming it. Why? Because the satisfaction level is very high over here. The satisfaction which you are receiving is 7, but the price which you are paying is just 5. So over here, margin utility is greater than price. So therefore you'll be having the consuming the commodity. So the similar nature happens in case of one commodity, consumer equilibrium in case of one commodity. So it is a situation when consumer consumes one commodity until he maximizes his satisfaction with given level of income and price. So a consumer is given certain price, certain income he has, and he has given a commodity. So at till what level will he be consuming that commodity? Over here, the assumption is law of diminishing marginal utility is followed, and consumer taste and preference must be same. And the last one over here, MUX. Till where is he getting the equilibrium point? Where MUX is equals to PX or MU. So over here you need to follow this thing. So let's assume from this given schedule, a person is given units 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So just keep this thing in mind before doing it. MUX is equals to PX. This is the equilibrium. That commodity is good day biscuit, so it's placed to be 10. So margin utility 50, 45, 30, 10 and 2. So it goes on declining. Your satisfaction goes on declining. We know it is due to law of diminishing margin utility. The satisfaction goes on declining. So the price of the commodity is 10, and the satisfaction he is receiving is 50 rupees. So will he consume that product? Yes. Another way, will he consume? Yes. Over here also he'll consume. Why? Because margin utility is greater than price. But what over here, when the margin utility is 10 and the price also 10, will the consumer consume? Yes, he will consume, because this satisfaction is, this condition is being fulfilled, that MUX is equals to price. So till here, this is my MUX is equals to PX, that is 10. So till here the consumer will be consuming the product, and this is the equilibrium point. So I've just stated it in the form of a graph over here. That is till A to B, that is MU is greater than price. At point B, MU is equals to price. This one, MUX is equals to price. And from B to C, the consumer won't be consuming that product. Why? Because the price is becoming greater than your satisfaction which you are receiving. So that thing you need to know. So let's talk about from this something extra. So we know MUX is equals to PX, that is margin utility of money, which we just described in the earlier part. Because we know margin utility is, we have converted in terms of money. So if I write MUX and make this P come down, MUX upon PX is, can I say, is equals to margin utility of money? So can till here the consumer will be consuming that product. So I have assumed the price of that commodity is 10. So let's say the price to this sum. This is very important thing. So this had come in 2018. So what happened is, there are two goods, X and Y. The price of X is 2 and price of Y is 1. Income, the given income to that consumer is 12. So over here we need to find the equilibrium, where the consumer is getting equilibrium. So there are various kind of sums. If you need some more sums, I can just post it later on. So this is the first sum. So over here, margin utility, this is in terms of utils. Now I have to convert in terms of money. Now how will I convert in terms of money? I'll simply MUX upon PX. We had done that, if you remember, MUX upon PX. So now Let's see over here MUX. I just noted down 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6. MUX upon PX 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. 16. This 16 divided by the price of X 2. Likewise 14 divided by 2. 12 divided by 2. So 6, 5, 4, 3. So I got this margin utility in terms of money. Likewise margin utility of Y 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Over here MUY upon PY. So MUY MU divided by PY. How much is PY? 1. So 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So it will remain same. Why? Because PY is 1 itself. Over here PX was 2. Over here PY is 1. I think you understood that. So let's put the formula. Let's take various combination over here. The combination can be, one combination can be 8 and 8. Let's see the similar figure where MUX is equals to MUY. That is 8, 8, 7 and 7. It's matching over here 6 and 6. So these are the three things which are matching in these two, MUX upon PX and MUY upon PY, because we need to follow this equilibrium condition. That's why we are taking the values which are similar to each other. I didn't take 10, 11, 10, these all things I didn't take. Why? Because it was not matching, it was not found over here. Neitherwise I didn't take this all because it was not found over here. So what was the thing which was matching over here? I'll take that first. So when a consumer consumes 1 unit, this one 8, when a consumer consumes 1 unit, so first what we'll be talking is when a consumer consumes 1 unit, because I have seen over here this 8, 1 unit of X and 1, 2, 3 and 4 units of Y that we have just stated over here. You can just check it out. 1 unit of X, 4 unit of Y, that is 2 rupees, and 4 rupees is giving me 6 rupees. So is my money utilized? My money is 12 rupees. Is my MUM utilized? No. So I won't take this combination. Likewise, let's see another combination, that is 7 and 7. When a consumer consumes 2 unit of X, 2 unit of X and 5 units of Y. 4 plus 5 is 9. So is my money utilized? No. So I won't take this as well. But when a consumer is consuming 3 units of X, 6 units of Y, 6 plus 6 is giving me 12. So my income is also 12. So where can I say MUX? That was 6. MUX that was 6, and MY that was 6 is giving me my full utilization of income, that is 12. So MUX upon PX must be equals to 6. You have to write in this way. Answer will be this. So this is the full answer. And the next part, law of marginal utility, you just need to define the law which I have just given it in the another earlier page. So this is it. So in the next topic we'll be talking about the ordinal analysis. MUX about PX is equals to marginal utility money. I can. So this thing please note it, because you'll be needed in the next part. So now let's talk about in case of two commodities. So in case of two commodities, when a consumer is consuming two commodities, what will happen? That one commodity, when a consumer was consuming one commodity, we saw the changes, the various things, the assumptions, the things where you'll be getting his satisfaction, the equilibrium point, we saw everything. Now what if a consumer is consuming two or more product? Now two or more product, it's not in your syllabus, you just need to know only two products or two commodities. So in case of two commodities, consumer equilibrium, a consumer is giving two sets of commodities, let's say good A and good B. So he's being given, this is just a preface I'm just giving you. Before, that's just the introduction. What we'll be doing it later on, this thing is represented. So he's giving you a combination two goods. So he has to choose between the two goods. With this given income to be noted over here, it's income and the satisfaction he receives. Till where will he consume that two products? Which product is giving him higher satisfaction? So these all things needs to be considered. So over here, another law, that is law of equimarginary utility, is followed. So the law of equimarginary utility, which states that as a consumer attains equilibrium spending his income. Now what does the law state? The law states that the consumer attains equilibrium when he spends his income in two commodities. So income in two commodities in such a way that the ratio of this marginal utility is equal to ratio of the price. Now over here, the consumer is being given two goods. So with this given income, that is Y, he has to spend in such a way that his last satisfaction, whatever he receives, must be equal to the income which he has. So let's see the condition over here. The condition is when ratio of marginal utility to be, so this thing you need to know it over here. MUX, that time I just showed you how this MUX on PX came. In case of one commodity, MUX upon PX. If they have two commodities, MUY upon PY must be equals to MUM. So if this is 6 and this is 6, so I have to see where I'm getting these two 6 and my income is getting fulfilled, my income is being utilized. So I'll just give you the example over here. It can be 5 5 or 4 4, it can be anything, but this money needs to be utilized. Another condition is that at the point of equilibrium, the money spent is equal to the income. This M over here represents income, and this is a various combination. We'll be just doing it in the next page itself. So MU decreases as more goods is consumed. You know that this satisfaction decreases as more goods is consumed. So now let's take a table. So from here we need to do this sum.